Our own tracker sees youtube.com in Gemini's sources on every single run, and it cannot tell us which video. Short answer, 2 different products wear the name Gemini, and they follow different rules. On the Google search side, Google's own documentation says a page only has to be indexed and eligible for a snippet. There are no additional technical requirements. The levers that provably exist are the ones that remove you. I will label every claim in this episode. Tier 1 is Google's own documentation, quoted on screen with a page's own last updated date visible. Tier 2 is our own measurement, with the denominators shown. There is no Tier 3 here, because the most repeated Gemini advice on the internet has no first-party sentence behind it. Last time we looked at ChatGPT and the one line in your robots file that gates it. Today, the engine where our own numbers finally show something, and the exact point where they run out.
Here is why this one stings differently. With ChatGPT, the failure is loud. A crawler is blocked and you are simply not in the running. With Gemini, the failure is quiet. You do everything the internet told you to do. You add the markup, you build the entity, and your dashboard still shows one flat, low number, because the dashboard you own cannot separate an AI answer from an ordinary blue link. Nothing in it tells you that you optimize for a mechanism that was never there.
So first thing to get straight, because almost every argument about Gemini is 2 people talking about 2 different products. One is the Gemini app, and the Gemini API, an assistant that pulls pages in at the moment you ask. The other is Google Search itself, AI overviews and AI mode, sitting on top of the ordinary search index. Same brand, different plumbing, different controls. Read the row, not the label. Here is Google's own crawler documentation, and this is the row that tells you which product you are talking about. Google Extended. Read what it governs, in their words. Whether the content Google crawls from your site may be used for training future generations of Gemini models. And for grounding. Providing content from the Google search index to the model at prompt time. That is the assistant surface. The app and the API. That is the whole reach of this one token.
And now the sentence that ends the argument, on the same page. Quote, Google Extended does not impact a site's inclusion in Google Search, nor is it used as a ranking signal in Google Search. End quote. So blocking Google Extended does not take you out of AI overviews, and allowing it does not put you in. If somebody sold you that toggle as an AI visibility fix, they sold you the wrong row.
Here is ours. Google Extended. Allow. And I want to be precise about what that buys us, because this is where people oversell. It means we have not opted our pages out of the pool the assistant grounds on. It does not mean we get cited. It is a door left open, not a result. That is the honest description of every access check, including the one in the last episode.
Now the search side, from Google's own page about AI features, quote, to be eligible to be shown as a supporting link in AI overviews or AI mode, a page must be indexed and eligible to be shown in Google Search with a snippet fulfilling the search technical requirements, end quote. Read it as a checklist, and it is embarrassingly short. Indexed, snippet eligible. That is the whole qualifying condition.
And the very next sentence in the same paragraph,
there are no additional technical requirements. Not a longer list you have not found yet. None. Which makes the call out further down that page the most expensive sentence in this episode.
Quote, you don't need to create new machine-readable files, AI text files, or markup to appear in these features. There's also no special schema.org structured data that you need to add, end quote. Google's own page, last updated in December. Now be careful what you do with that, because I am not telling you to rip your markup out.
Structured data is still worth having. Google's own list on this same page says to make sure your structured data matches the visible text. And markup still earns you rich results in ordinary search. What it is not is the thing that gets you into an AI answer. Hygiene? Yes. Cause? No.
There is one mechanic on this page worth more than every piece of markup advice put together. Quote, both AI overviews and AI mode may use a query fan-out technique, issuing multiple related searches across subtopics and data sources to develop a response. End quote. So the question a person typed is not the query your page has to win. The engine splits it into sub-questions you never see and searches those instead,
which changes the shape of the work. One page straining to rank for one big phrase is the wrong shape. Take the question your customer actually asks. Write down the 5 smaller questions hiding inside it, then answer each one explicitly in its own short section in plain words on the page. You are not writing for one query anymore. You are writing for the fan. And here is the part that matters if you work outside English. Those sub-questions get asked in the language of the person asking them. On our last run, the one Gemini answer that named us a tool came from a Polish query, not an English one. That is 1 cell out of 56, and I am not going to dress up 1 cell as a trend. But the Polish and the German sub-questions are visibly less answered than the English ones, and that is a real, checkable opening for a small business, not a claim about us.
So how would you even know whether any of this worked? Here is Google's answer on the same page. Quote, just like the rest of the search results page, sites appearing in AI features such as AI overviews and AI mode are included in the overall search traffic in Search Console. In particular, they're reported on in the performance report within the web search type. End quote. Included, not separated. Your own dashboard folds the AI answer into ordinary web traffic and hands you one number for both.
And further down the same page, the controls themselves. To limit the information shown from your pages in search, use no snippet, data no snippet, max snippet, or no index. Look at what that list actually is. Every single entry takes something away. There is no opposite list. No tag anywhere on this page puts you in. So here is the side-by-side, and I want to be fair about it. The standard answer to how do I get cited by Gemini from tool vendors, from agencies, from most of the videos sitting next to this one in your sidebar is add the markup, build the entity, publish more. Those are real crafts, and the people teaching them are not frauds. But on the AI overview side, the vendor's own documentation says no special schema.org structured data is needed, and your own dashboard folds those appearances into ordinary web traffic. So you can do all of it sincerely and be unable to prove any of it. What we do instead is boring. We ask each engine the questions our buyers actually ask, and we keep the list of sources it cited. Not one composite score, a per-engine list you can read,
which produces exactly one Gemini finding I trust. Across 4 runs on our own account this summer, YouTube.com is in Gemini's cited sources every single time. 9 out of 222, 7 out of 209, 11 out of 224, 32 out of 713. 3 to 5%, 4 times running. And on the same runs, in OpenAI's citations, 0 out of 223. In Anthropic's, 0 out of 426. That difference between the engines is real.
and now I have to take most of that back, because this is where our measurement ends. 59 of those citations across 4 runs. Every single one of them is the bare domain, youtube.com. 0 of the 59 carry a path. Not one of them names a video, or a channel, or a creator. So I cannot tell you that a video got cited. I cannot tell you a channel got cited. I can tell you that one string keeps appearing in one engine's source set and never in the other two, and that our own extraction cannot resolve it any further than that. If you have heard anybody say, post videos and Gemini will cite you, this is the slide that should stop it. We publish these videos anyway. We just do not get to call it a measured lever.
Second failure, and this one is nobody's fault but ours. On that same run, our own tracker wrote us a task. Its words: publish a YouTube video, because this leverages the #1 most cited source, YouTube, 32 times. Now open the other table in the very same file. Ranked by host, youtube.com is third. 32, behind sostav.ru at 39 and clutch.co at 38. It is #1 only when you rank by the canonical URL form. One file, one dataset, 2 rankings, and our own recommendation text quietly picked the flattering one. We are not patching that sentence today and pretending it never happened. It goes on the board as a defect, because a tool that writes you tasks has to be honest about which table it read.
So here is the whole Gemini checklist we run at Webappski, and notice how little of it is about Gemini. 1. The page is indexed and snippet eligible. That is the entire official requirement, and it is the one almost nobody checks. 2. No na snippet, no max snippet, no data na snippet, and no index anywhere you did not mean it. Those are the only switches on this surface, and they only ever remove. 3. Decide Google extended deliberately. Allow it if you want to be in the assistant's grounding pool, block it if you do not, and know that it changes nothing in search either way. 4. Write for the fan out. The 5 sub-questions inside the question, each answered in its own short section in the language your customer asks in. 5. Measure per engine and say out loud where the measurement stops. If you want us to run those 5 across your site, the first audit is free, and the link is in the description and pinned in the first comment. Next time, the engine that runs its own index, and the one we do not measure at all. What does Perplexity look at when it cites a source? Thanks for watching.